I'm not forgiving my brother for sleeping with my girlfriend. First off, before I start with the update, I just want to thank the people who responded to my post. Though some of you were very intent with me getting back at my brother with violence and to cut him off, I know your hearts were in the right place. But I do want to clear some stuff up. I wasn't trying to paint my parents as the bad guy in my last post. They actually forgave him a couple years before they even announced she was pregnant. I also believe that nothing would have come from me beating my brother into a pulp, besides me probably going to jail and causing rifts in the family. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the update. I sat my mom and dad down with my brother in my parents' living room and finally told all of them how I felt. I told them that what my brother did was unforgivable. Not the type of unforgivable that means I'll hate him for the rest of my life, but the type of unforgivable that means that I want utterly nothing to do with him because I don't want a relationship with someone who could sleep with a friend's girlfriend behind his back, much less his brother. That's not the type of person I want to be around. My brother tried to make a rebuttal by saying that he changed and would never do it again. He said it like he didn't marry and have the child of the girl I told him I wanted to marry. I then asked my parents how they were able to forgive him, and they said that they were really disappointed in him for a while, but when he got saved and started preaching, they forgave him since he turned a new leaf. I then asked would they still forgive him if they were in the same position as me, and they said that they would have forgiven him eventually, which I don't believe at all. Anyway, we just went back and forth for a while until my brother said that I shouldn't be holding grudges. I then told him that he shouldn't be sleeping with other people's girlfriends. He then looked at the ground and started to cry. My mom said that what I said is too harsh since he had already repented for his sins. I then gave them the ultimatum most of you told me to do, that they could either accept the fact I want nothing to do with him and move on, or I would cut them off along with him and his family. My dad then said that I would die with regret if I don't forgive my brother. I then asked if that was their final answer, and my mom said, fine. She said they will come to terms with me not wanting to be in my brother's life. I then asked my dad if that was how he felt too, and he said yeah. I then thanked them for their time, looked at my brother, and told him that no matter what he does, there is nothing that he could do that could get me to spend time with him, and told him to have a good life. I then walked out and drove to get some In-N-Out and went to bed. That whole conversation was really mentally and physically draining, so I basically passed out a couple seconds after hitting my bed. The next day, I decided to download some dating apps to try dating again to really move on from this whole situation. My mom said that what I said is too harsh since he had already repented for his sins. Oh, I'm sorry. Does that mean he unfucked my ex? Your brother is a scumbag and no brother of yours. Stick to your boundary of never seeing him again. And cut off your parents too if they try to force you to meet him. And know that you've gained brothers in every guy who has ever been cheated on. You handled it well, OP. You sat them all down together and told them exactly what you felt. Disappointed your parents felt his becoming a preacher meant his past actions are excused. If he had repented for his sins, he would never have married the GF. Onwards to better women now, they far outnumber the ones your brother married. And by the way, he may not plan on ever cheating again. Doesn't mean she won't. You did that. Another story, hopefully real, that someone is doing bad bitch behaviors. I wish you luck. Hopefully you can give us an update on your life in terms of having a girlfriend and doing mentally well. By the way, I think your brother did the whole church thing to make sure you would forgive him. Typically, I've noticed that people often turn to God after doing terrible things to people and then going back to their victims saying, see, I've changed, to guilt them into coming back into their lives. Glad you didn't fall for it. Good luck. I would end with, maybe you repented, maybe you really changed, but never forget that the person you married and have a child with cheated with someone's sibling. I wish you a long life, always looking over your shoulder, always wondering when she's going to cheat on you. Plant that seed. OP, I'm sorry that you had to go through all of that.